What's up, guys? This episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Carnivore Shred. Carnivore Shred is a 2-in-1 thermogenic protein product. This thing is setting the world on fire. My man Roger's been on it for a couple weeks. Tell me a little bit about it, Roger.
Couple weeks now. Like Frankie said, I've been doing it for a couple weeks. Definitely the 2-in-1 protein thermogenic powder is definitely giving me results. Like I said, I've been on it for a few weeks now. As a matter of fact, I just tried on Frankie's t-shirt, and it actually damn near fit me.
Listen, I'm taking the carnivore protein, so my mediums are not like regular mediums.
Mediums.
Listen, Carnivore Shred is a fat-burning, muscle-building solution featuring the power of carnivore beef protein isolate. Guys, this is delicious. Gets the job done. Check it out.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, FE. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
Oh, so they can't see you now.
Yeah, that's my grandbaby. My grandbaby trying to help me out.
There you go.
Yeah,
We got you.
Perfect.
We got you.
You can see?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Kids and technology.
Hey, I'm way behind.
So is my dad.
There you go. I'm with him.
I'm not too caught up myself. CT, it's great to have you on. The last time, I'm a little story about I was fighting Max Holloway. I was working with nutritionist Tyler Minton, and I believe he's friends with your son, has worked with your son in some capacity, and he got you to send me a little video, a little audio clip, before that fight, encouraging me and whatnot, and that was awesome because he heard me listening to you. I am the one. When I was getting ready, when I was doing my fight week preparation. So that was very cool of you to, send me that.
Of course, man. I'm a big Frankie Edgar fan, so that was no problem. I thank you so much for providing me with a whole lot of entertaining ass whoopings, man.
Yeah, well, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. This is my podcast host, Roger Matthews.
Roger, how you doing, young man?
CT, what's up, buddy? Sorry, I got some technical difficulties over here. First and foremost, for me, thank you, man. As a gym buff, for the last 20, 25 years or so, you've motivated me and my whole group that, we call ourselves the Do Work Crew. You've totally motivated us, man. We used to, I think everybody puts motivational music on, right? Like Frankie comes out to Biggie, everybody cranks their jam. We just watched YouTube's videos of you for like years, I swear, just to get us motivated, bro. I got it now.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the hell out of that.
So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I don't know. I never set out to be a motivational speaker or motivating anything like that. I just was, being me.
Yeah.
And I thought most people, as soon as they heard me say a few words, would turn me off and never turn it back on. But to my surprise, there's some crazy people out there like me, and they dug it, so I'm still here.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's phenomenal. You definitely speak to a lot of crazy people. Like myself, I'm definitely always attacking it like you are. I actually just watched your documentary just to kind of catch up a little bit. The Magnificent documentary, and that was phenomenal. And it's the way you motivate people, coaching people. That's just something that a lot of people are into and a lot of people respect. You're real as hell. I think that's number one, and a lot of people can see that whenever you talk about what you're doing. You're so passionate about all the stuff you do, and it was a pretty cool documentary.
Well, I appreciate that, Frankie. I want to ask you a question because I got to speak to another one of my heroes in the UFC, which was Hoist Gracie. And I spoke to him and I asked him, because I was wondering if anybody else out there was crazy like me and willing to die for what they believe in or what they, are passionate about. And he told me that he never prepared, had an after party. He never thought about an after party. He never prepared to have fun. He never made any preparations for anything after the fight. He said he never made any, preparation. And I'm not going to see, never told his friends to see him after none of that because he was prepared to die in that fucking octagon. Yeah. And when I heard that shit, Frankie, I was like, oh, man. There's another one out there who's just the biggest fucking idiot as I am. And I didn't think it was possible, but talking to him, and I wanted to ask you, have you felt that same fucking way? Did you have that kind of mental?
Yes, I don't know if I ever thought I was gonna die, but I was always willing to. You know what I mean? I was willing to. And I knew after the fights, I was kind of the same as Hoist. I never did an after party. I never went to the club. I hung out in the hotel room with my family and friends and teammates because I always expected to be banged up. Because if I put in the work, I'm going to be banged up. So let's not plan any parties until later on.
Absolutely. You know what? And I wanted to ask you that because I knew it. Well, I would have bet money that's how you felt. From watching the way you perform, the way you get after it, I would have bet all kind of money that Frank Edgar had that same mindset. Because one thing for sure, you're gonna get if you watch a Frankie Edgar fight, you're gonna get your fucking money's worth. And he's gonna be putting it on the line, and I fucking love that about it.
Yeah, thank you.
Especially the trilogy with Maynard.
Oh man, I mean,
it was epic.
Hey, I don't mind telling you, I was a little worried for you in those. Right? I was a little worried.
I think everybody's a little worried.
Yeah, that motherfucker was. He wasn't bullshitting either.
The crazy thing about Hoist, oh man, my shit keeps going out. But anyway, the crazy thing about Hoist was that guy competed in a time when there was no weight classes. You fought multiple times a night. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean that was like early. I think was he UFC 1 or
UFC 1? Yeah.
Yes, he was.
UFC
1.
Yeah. I mean, you're known for your iconic and epic lines. He had a pretty epic line. I think is when he came back to fight Matt Hughes when he got the standing ovation when he came in. Didn't he say something like, "I built this" or something like that? It was epic.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did build it. Yeah.
That whole family.
I think there's a connection issue with my headphones here, or my mic rather, because it keeps going in and out. Like I can't hear myself talk right now. Sorry about that, CT.
Hey, technology.
It was out and then it came back in, and now it's out again. But anyway, I can manage. It's out still.
Yeah, well, I'm very, very technology challenged myself.
Yes.
So no problem, man. Hey, I forgot to ask you guys from the beginning. I cuss a lot, so
hey, I'm with you. I'm kind of with you. I got a pretty bad mouth myself.
Okay, I was just wondering if it was okay.
It's all good. It's all good. I prefer it, as a matter of fact.
You got your bleeping guy with the bleeping button. You bleeping out.
We got the.
I'm gonna keep
got to bleep for
today.
the first. This is what they say. The first 2 minutes of a YouTube video, you bleep it, and then after, let it fly. So we're good. We're all the way in.
You get incredible views though on your YouTube stuff, and I feel like you come right out the gate dropping F-bombs, and never seems to affect your views. But a couple podcasters told us that slow down on the F-bombs for the first couple minutes, and then you won't hit that algorithm where they kind of shadow ban you. So
okay, well, you get the bleeping guy better be ready today. You got CT Fletcher on here, man. And, it's no two ways about it. Either you love me or you hate me. It ain't no in between with me, man. And I'm just shocked, and it's still overwhelming to me that anybody watches my shit at all. Because the first video I got on there, I told him, hey, look, I don't give a fuck. It's bleep bleep. I don't give a fuck if you watch me or not. Turn the shit off. If you don't hear what I gotta say, turn the shit off. And who's gonna watch somebody say some shit like that?
But hardcore gym dudes eat that up, bro. I mean, that's in your world, it's like the perfect niche. What you do, because nobody's in the gym listening to Britney Spears. You're either listening to hardcore rock or hardcore rap or CT Fletcher. You know what I mean?
And it's so funny because I was actually a personal trainer for a while. I worked 28 years at the post office. I did my time in the Army. Then I tried personal training, and I sucked at personal training. I had about
why?
what? Because no, I mean, I would tell them, just like in the videos, I actually, that's how I train people. Look, if you're gonna come here and act like a fucking pussy, you wasted my time and yours. Take your fucking ass back home. So I didn't have very many clients. I put it that way.
But were they because they just couldn't keep up with the workload and your style, or do you think they just a little bit soft?
It was that, and the fact, I think my bluntness, drove quite a few clients away. The workload was, quite heavy, but I'm like, I started. I was 50-something years old when I started training. But I'm like, fuck, I'm 50-something. You fucking 20-year-old kid. You can't keep up with me. Take your punk ass back off. Yeah, they didn't appreciate that, and I really I didn't care, and I didn't make very much money. That's for damn sure. So,
but
I expected the same thing on YouTube.
Now you did that in like a franchise gym?
No. Well, yeah. It's a Metroflex is a franchise, but it's not like Goals or anything. They probably, it's probably 25 of them across the country now. But it was a franchise gym, though.
I feel like the rules they have, the gym rules, I feel like you break them all, and that's I can't see you in a franchise gym.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Planet Fitness, I wouldn't make it there. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. But I mean, with that kind of approach to training people, you're going to get the clients that are hardcore and that are probably right up your alley, though.
Absolutely. I had a core, about 5 guys that they loved it. They fucking came back. That's how I survived in the beginning. But they would keep coming back for more. But it's you're only going to get a certain few that like that kind of shit. And lucky a lot of UFC fighters identify with it because they're the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. You know what I mean? They don't want shit sugar coated. They want hardcore shit, so they accept CT Fletcher style training and talking shit and all that. They accept it, and I'm just blessed and lucky, that's the case. I get to cuss people out for a living, man.
Yeah,
I used to cuss people out for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you paid to do it. Can't beat it.
Yeah.
Did you ever have anybody that's like a client that's like, I know you have the gym wars and stuff and all the competitions in your past. You ever have a client that like impressed you that ended up being a competitive, bodybuilder, competitive, strength.
Got to be the Hulk, right? One of your guys.
Yeah, the Hulk was, and Hulk Smash was my most viewed video to date. It's still the most viewed video. I go to Saudi Arabia or Japan or China or somewhere, and as soon as I get off the airplane, they're yelling at me, Hulk Smash, Hulk Smash. So he's one. But the most impressive client that I held a class, a certification class, and I had one guy in there. He was about 300 pounds, and he could never complete any task that I gave the class. If I said, push-ups until I need 15 push-ups, whatever, he could never complete any one of them, Frankie. But what this guy did do was he fall on his fucking face before he quit. He would never quit. He would fall flat on his fucking face before he gave up. And that son of his passed with flying colors.
Yeah.
It's not. Right? Oh man, that's it, Frankie. That the effort he put forth more effort than anybody else in that class. Everything I asked him to do, he would fall flat on his fucking face before he give up. He was not giving up, and that to me is more impressive than the motherfucker can do everything I asked him to do.
I agree. My kids wrestling, I always tell them it's not winning is not what matters. It's wanting to win, putting the effort to win. That's what matters.
Hell yes, Exactly. Couldn't put that better myself.
What's your take on that, CT? you know, like you can teach motivation, right? Like you motivate a lot of people, but willpower, that's might be something a little different. I think, you know, I think Frankie is just, I mean, he just naturally has like, he's known for his heart, right? I think some guys
Hell,
are just,
it's-
some guys are
yes,
just
it-
kind of born like that. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't work hard. He's probably the hardest worker in the gym, but he's got something in his heart that just, you can't, I feel like you can't teach it. And some guys just have that, right?
Yeah,
Sounds like that. Sounds like that
absolutely-
gentleman you were just talking about has that.
Yep. I absolutely believe that will. I mean, you can teach a lot of different techniques, a lot of skills, but that fucking intangible aspect, that fucking will, that when everything is equal, we both got the same skill level, we both got the same, but that fucking will is what separates the winner from lose. That will is that intangible thing that you cannot teach. That shit, Frank Edgar was born with that fucking shit. You better, I guarantee you didn't, no coach didn't have to teach you that. We were born with that shit. That
so.
will, that undeniable will. I'm gonna do this shit or I'm gonna fucking die trying.
That's Joe. I know we're friendly with Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
and, I
yeah.
think I've heard him say it's it's hard to be motivated all the time. It's hard to be motivated, but when you're not motivated, you got to be disciplined, and then you're gonna do what you got to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a disciplined motherfucker's got a ton of will. Trust me.
Yeah.
It takes it. Yeah, that discipline is powered by his will. I mean that absolute, when you don't feel like it, when nobody else is around, there's no crowds cheering, and you take your punk ass in there and do what you got to do anyway. That's what champions are made of. But I'm preaching to the choir. I'm talking to Frankie fucking Edgar, man. He knows his shit.
Now, CT, are you still in the gym quite a bit?
No, not quite a bit, but I am in there. I'm in
Okay.
there doing what I can. I
Okay.
just came. I got a little gym in the backyard. I just came from back there.
Awesome.
I'm 64 years old. I flatlined 5 fucking times. I got a heart transplant, but I'm still doing what I can, Frankie.
I love it.
You still have Iron Addicts gym? Is that
Oh yeah, I still got the gym,
awesome?
but a lot of times I just rather go out in the backyard and do what I can with my son, and I just it's a lot easier for me. I'm a senior citizen now, man.
Yeah.
Samson, right? Your son Samson?
Yes.
He's a powerlifter himself, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
pretty insanely strong.
Yeah,
He's
he's
young,
coming
right?
along real well. Yeah.
Yep.
That's got to be a rewarding process, right? I know it's rewarding, being able to share wrestling and fighting with my sons and daughter. Be able to share that with your kids and grandkids. That's got to be very rewarding.
As you know, it's the best. It is the best to watch your kid, fall in love or with something. You've been an athlete your whole life. You've been a UFC champ. I mean, and to watch your kid come along, it's so much more gratifying to me to see my kid, my grandkids out there following in my footsteps than any trophy or title that I've ever won. I much prefer watching them do it.
Yeah, to me, everyone talks about legacy. I'm like, that's real legacy. That's
Yep.
how you keep it going.
That's it right there. That is it. I'm their biggest cheerleader for sure.
Yeah, that's all. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Then John Jones will comment on my son. If he see a lift my son did, he'll comment on him. And when I see stuff like that, the tarantula, a lot of UFC guys, that means the world to me to have those guys, look at my son doing something. I prefer them comment on him or something that he does over them commenting on anything that I did or do any day. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Comment
on my son, man. That means the world to me.
Yeah, that's gonna be your forever legacy.
Oh yeah.
CT, you look great, man. How do you feel? I mean, anybody that's not familiar with your story, you had, I believe it was 2005, right? You had open heart surgery, and then 2018, you actually had a heart transplant, which that can't be a common thing. You look great. How do you feel?
Man, I'm when anybody asks me that, I always say the same answer, and that's that I'm blessed.
Yes.
I'm blessed, man. So, and when I say I'm blessed, that don't mean I'm, I feel like running a fucking marathon. It just means I'm blessed to still be here, man.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
yeah, I feel really good to still be here, to come on your podcast and be able to talk to you young folks. That makes me feel real good, man.
You're a legend, brother. You're a legend.
Yeah, hell yeah. It doesn't get bigger than that.
It was the flatlining 5 times and having a heart transplant. That took a little steam out of the old man's sails, but I have no complaints whatsoever. I'm still here and I'm still curling.
Yeah,
I think there's we all have haters, right? All of us, and I think there'll be a lot of haters out there that would say, "Oh, he did steroids. That happened to him because of steroids." But I read when you were a power lifter, you were all natural. You didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked me about that. I tried steroids in 1980 for 6 months. I've been lifting weights, since 69.
I think it's important to say though that was doctor prescribed, right? Because I heard that on
absolutely.
Rogan. You weren't buying them off the street. Yeah,
it was not illegal. It was. I went right to a doctor, got a prescription, tried to sit out, and just because they told me, Frankie, that if I wanted to be Mr. America, which at the time was bigger than Mr. Olympia, Mr. all these other contests, Mr. America was. If I wanted to be Mr. America, I was going to have to take steroids. There's no question about it. If you want to be Mr. America, you want to be on the cover of the magazines, you want to make a living doing this shit, instead of throwing sacks around at the post office, you're going to have to take steroids. And I let them fuckers talk me into that, Frank. And that is my biggest regret to this day. I don't have any regrets about anything else, but that is my biggest regret, that I let some bitch talk me into trying this shit. That's my biggest regret. If I had a regret, that would be it. 6 months, and I tell people about it. I'm thinking I'm being open and honest, and people are gonna say, "Hey, yeah, I appreciate you telling." What they don't give a fuck about nothing. Those 6 months are the only thing that people talk about. You took steroids in fucking 1980. You took them. And they lasted you for 50 fucking years. That's all they talk about. So
those are people that never done anything hard in their life, though, for the most part.
Yeah, man.
Even guys that take steroids that are jacked. I mean, they didn't get jacked from taking steroids. They got jacked from working hard. I mean, that's really.
Oh, they still use that shit. It's people that you don't even know that are taking fucking steroids every fucking, and they don't look worth a fuck.
Yeah,
because they ain't putting, they taking steroids and think the steroids are going to do everything, and that's not the case. You still got to work your ass up.
Yeah,
you still got to work your ass up. If you don't work your ass up, you still gonna look fucked.
Yeah,
If it was that easy, I mean, every rich person would go out and get them a bottle of steroids, and it'd all be fucking looking like Adonis.
Right.
But you still got to work.
There's a guy you just mentioned, John Jones, obviously, tested positive for steroids, but in my opinion, arguably the greatest pound for pound fighter in the world. How much did that help him? I wonder. I guess there's no metric where you can ever figure that out, but that guy is, in my opinion, probably the pound for pound greatest fighter in the world, and his legacy is forever going to be tarnished because of that, and he's going to have his haters.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna. He's gonna definitely have his haters, but in my opinion, he's the GOAT. Him and Mighty Mouse, but nobody. I mean, nobody's got a fucking Frankie Edgar Hart. Frankie Edgar Hart can match up against anybody's. But between Mighty Mouse and John Bones Jones, those are some bad motherfuckers right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Demetrius Johnson never has tested positive for steroids. His record is better, I believe, than John Jones, but he never. No.
John Jones has that one loss that wasn't really a loss, right? Remember, it was the.
Who did Demetrius Johnson lose? Remind me.
He lost to Cejudo. He lost to a guy and won, but then came back and smoked him.
That's right.
He has a couple losses, but yeah.
Well,
Frankie, I want to ask you, the loss to Cejudo. Do you really think he lost?
I don't know. It was close. It was close. I would have gave it to Demetrius Johnson just because he was, so dominant up into that moment. And I thought he won, but Cejudo ran with it and did some good things. Went up to 35, did a lot,
Yeah, I'm thinking at best it was a draw. They said
right. Yeah, draw the belt stays with the champ.
Yeah, don't fucking take his title from him on that shit, man. That was no. But
I think it all worked out for him. He went over to one FC. He's crushing it right now. Actually, I just see you know the Bradley Martin guy.
Yeah, you see that debate there.
Yeah, the guy's a big dude, but he's about to get taught a lesson by my man Mighty Mouse.
Oh, you know what? Hey, I like Bradley. He's a friend of mine. But Mighty Mouse gonna whoop the shit out of Bradley Martin.
People don't understand that.
I like Bradley. I'm sorry, bro, but the fighting and lifting weights is two different fucking things, man.
I think
he gonna find out.
30, 40 years ago, size, size still matters. It's not that it doesn't matter, but martial arts came around and the playing field completely changed. It just changed it. You know what I mean? People, I'm sure there are people that look at me and say, I'm a big dude, I should be able to beat up Frankie, but I'm not an idiot. I've rolled with Frankie. I know who would win that fight. You know what I mean? So it's there's a lot of people out there that just don't get it. They just see a big dude and they're like, oh, he would wreck everybody. And I'm not saying Bradley doesn't have a chance. I mean, maybe if he can get a hold of, Demetrius and he can ragdoll him, maybe. But I think it's doubtful. I think it's very doubtful.
Yeah.
No, I don't see it happening. I mean, Hoist proved it in the first UFCs, man. The size didn't matter. It's the skill set.
Yeah. And even then, Hoist was he was just a jiu-jitsu guy. He had no striking, no wrestling whatsoever. Demetrius could do everything.
Absolutely.
He's was full gi every time.
Yeah, he wore the gi
every time. It's crazy.
And Bradley, he's decent. He can, he's not.
He's an athlete for sure. An athlete.
Yes, absolutely. He's an athlete. But it's that's like they say. There's levels to this shit.
Yes, sir.
And Demetrius is at the highest level, man. Yeah. It's and I like Bradley, but this is gonna be. I pay to see the shit.
Yeah,
100%. I pay like $29.99.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. Just like you guys seen Gordon Loves Jiu-Jitsu.
Gordon Ryan,
rolling with Jones.
I fucking pay to see that too.
Yeah, me too.
Gordon's a Jersey. He's from Jersey actually. He was a friend of ours. He came up. I remember when he came up, he was a blue belt, and he was, a lot. He was 15 years old, maybe, weighing 170 pounds, and I rolled at him. I'm like, who the hell is this kid? Yeah, he was a stud even from the get go.
I'm just curious, Frankie, how do you think that would go? I mean, Jones is no slouch. He's obviously, got a wrestling base, but he's also
just if it jiu-jitsu only. Jiu-jitsu only. Yeah, I gotta go with the best guy. He's the best no-gi guy ever.
Right.
If you give if Jones started jiu-jitsu from the beginning, maybe, but nah, it's just tough to. But if a real fight, what's gonna happen.
Yeah, agreed. They seem to be good friends.
What about a real fight with no strikes?
A real fight.
Jones wrestling against Gordon's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, just think the jiu-jitsu would win in that fashion as far as fight goes, But if you're able to strike, you got to give it to Jones.
Nate Diaz just said, obviously, he just lost to Jake Paul in the decision, and he said at the end of that fight, if this was a real fight, I'd win. You know what I mean? And so.
Well, he had him in that guillotine
he
at
did.
the end.
He said, I got the choke in the ninth and something in the first. What was it? Yeah. You got to love that guy. It's entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
You into boxing at all, CT?
Come on, man. Yeah, I fucking love boxing.
You caught the Crawford-Spence fight?
I did.
Oh, wow,
and I expected Crawford to win, but not like that.
Honestly, here, both of us, we both picked Crawford to win, but I didn't know it was going to be in that fashion, man. He dominated.
No, that was just a fucking...
Bell to bell dominated.
Yeah. Yes. That's a good bell to bell. Not even close. and I expected it to be a close fight.
Right, yeah, me too. I seen Floyd. I think it was Floyd was saying that Errol Spence should no way he should have been fighting that low. He needs to go up a couple, quite a few weight classes. So I wonder if he will, and if that'll help him out.
Well, I bet I don't think he'll do that again. He's like,
nah.
It probably, I don't know. Did he seem like he was too weak, or?
I think that's what Floyd is insinuating, that he.
That's what you see. But I don't know. It seemed like two different class levels in there, man. It was like,
it really did.
Crawford was he beat him in every aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder who's next for Crawford. Charlo, I think.
Yeah, that's what he's calling for, Charlo.
Yeah, I think he called him out in the middle of the fight, actually.
He did.
Yeah,
he was
in the middle of the fight.
Yelling out the rope, yelling out the ring.
You're next.
Yeah. So how far back do you guys go with boxing? How far does your boxing knowledge go back?
Knowledge, I mean, at least from I used to watch when I was a kid. I remember watching, I think it was the Spinks. I don't remember sure because I was young, very young, when Tyson fought Spinks. And I remember going to my neighbor's house with my old man, with all the guys watching the fight. And I think he knocked him out in like minutes. And everyone was so pissed off that they bought the fight and it ended so quickly, So, and then I was a big Holyfield fan because he's a big heart guy. He was the little guy who was fighting the big guys.
Yeah.
The Ray Bow fights, the Hope Foreman fights.
Who's the dude
awesome.
from Boston? The Great White Hope.
Mickey Ward?
No. That Tyson fought. The big. What was his name? I remember watching that fight.
I forgot.
The heck is his name?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't think of it
either.
I'm drawing a blank, but I can remember watching that fight. Yeah, and Tyson just absolutely demolished him.
Yeah.
As he did pretty much everybody. I mean, let's be honest. Tyson fight is just entertaining. It's like watching a Frankie fight. You're going to be entertained.
Well, I mean, I think a Tyson fight's another level though, just because. I mean, that dude had dynamite in his hands, man. He was just special.
You see those neck workouts he would do? Insane.
Yeah, insane. I think the person that beat Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson.
Yes, yeah.
That's
he's a. I guess he's a martial artist, right? I mean, artists like they say, like Picasso or Kanye West is a crazy artist. I mean, that's what Mike Tyson is.
Man,
crazy artist.
He sort of reinvented himself now, though. I mean, obviously he's acting in movies. He's been on the panel at some stand-up, comedy roasts and things. I feel like he's like found himself, and he's really learned how to let go of a lot of pent-up rage that he had. And he just seems to be the most likable guy now. Listen, I'm saying you still shouldn't fuck with that guy. You'd see that one guy that was like poking him in the back, the guy on the airplane, and there was another guy at like some game or something. He was like asking him for a picture or whatever, and Tyson turned around and was like, "Oh, you know what I mean?" So you don't want to poke the bear, but he seems to be much more at peace with himself these days, and that's good to see.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, that guy was annoying as fuck.
Everybody would have slapped that dude. Everybody.
He deserved it. He deserved everything he got.
Everything he got.
Who's your favorite fighter?
My favorite fighter?
Boxer or fighter?
Well, let's start with boxing.
Boxing, my favorite, right now, currently or
of all time.
Of all time,
I gotta go Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go Tyson or Holyfield because those
Foreman was pretty damn good too.
Yeah, he was great. He was great. But I'm saying guys I watch, Holyfield definitely. I remember those. I think he had 3 fights with Riddick Bowe and 2 fights with Foreman, maybe, or 2 and 2. Yeah, those fights I remember.
Evander.
I remember watching them. Vividly remember them, being a young buck.
Yeah, the Riddick Bowe trilogy. Well, my favorite fight of all time is Sugar Ray Robinson, which is way before you guys' time.
Right. I've heard a lot about him though. Obviously, his record is unbelievable. He fought Jake LaMotta 6 times, dude.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And so, for pure boxing skill, it's Sugar Ray Robinson. As overall, it would be Muhammad Ali, but it's not just because of what he did inside the ring is what he did outside the ring as well. So overall, it would be Muhammad Ali. But for pure boxing skill, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali was an icon, like a once in a lifetime type of icon.
Absolutely.
I like Sugar Ray Leonard too. I remember watching him, his speed and style. Like he could bang, he could box, had good feet, good hands. He was fun to watch too.
Absolutely was. It pissed me off though when he beat Marvin Hagler.
Oh yeah.
That's what pissed me off. I mean, we was cool until then.
That was the golden era, right? They say the golden era of boxing.
Man, yeah, for me it really was. You know, I loved it.
Even when Tyson came back and he just had that you know, it was a non-competition fight, but
what recently with Roy Jones?
With Roy Jones, he still looked good. Good,
he did.
You know?
He
looked
man.
better than Roy. You know,
he did.
He damn sure did. He damn sure did. Yeah.
Still got it.
Oh yeah, he got enough of it to whoop a lot of people.
Hell yeah.
It seemed like they were both holding back a little.
Do you think Jake Paul would fight this Tyson now?
Do I think he would? I think he would for the payday.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Tyson take him out. I got nothing personal against Jake, but I'd just like to see, you know, I mean, you're stepping into a OG's world. You went. I mean, listen, he's a legitimate boxer now, right? You can't argue that Jake Paul's not a legitimate boxer. He is, but he started out.
You can argue a little bit. That
well,
he's legitimate, okay,
but I mean, he ain't Mike Tyson, so he's fighting a guy that's way out of his prime. I'd still like to see.
He fights
Tyson.
guys that are like, you know, Nate's really a 70-pounder going up to 85.
Yeah.
I mean, the only guy he fought that's really his size was Tommy Fury, and he lost. Which Tommy Fury, not the best boxer. Right. He's, you know, up and coming.
He's calling for
Tyson
the rematch
would
on that.
murder this dude.
Yeah.
He would
now.
Yes, right now.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
You think so, CT? You agree?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you know, I'd be rooting for him too because he's older too.
Yeah. I find myself rooting for the old heads now. Come on.
Yeah, I like to see the old dude still got it, man. I must admit. Yeah. But no, I don't think he's not gonna ask Mike. He don't want no smoke from Mike.
Nah.
Even now.
He picks him well. Even like Nate. If Nate's just a little, you know, he's a little bit older, a little bit long in the tooth. He's a smaller opponent, you know. Like I think even like I heard someone say Sean Strickland fought him right now, and Sean Strickland's he's actually fighting Adesanya for the title. But if Adesanya or Strickland, someone young at 85 fought Jake Paul, they'd run through him.
Oh, I believe so. Strickland's an animal
he ain't gonna call them out.
Yeah.
No,
exactly. He will not be calling them out.
Exactly. They say people don't even want to spar with Strickland because he's like a madman in there.
Oh yeah.
And
you talk about legends that come back in their later years and do like exhibition fights. So Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. I was quite let down by that. Were you? I was quite let down by that because Chuck is just a legend. I love that guy, but he could have gone without that last fight. It wasn't a good look, you know.
He didn't need to do that.
Tito still looked good.
It's okay.
Chuck
I guess
have it.
you know Chuck just looked kind of like just not the same Chuck that we know.
It was different, for sure. Yeah, same thing. We were just talking about Hoist Gracie. He came back and fought Matt Hughes. You know, and as a legend, you want to see him go out just, you know, and he is. It doesn't take, but, you know, Matt Hughes was a different animal, much younger guy.
He even fought later than that, though.
He
came
did.
back and fought Shamrock again or something in Bellator, I think.
Oh, did he?
Even later on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, those guys, they stay at it for a minute.
Yeah.
Henzo, Henzo, I'm sure. And he fought at 50 years old at 1FC.
Yeah.
Nuts.
CT, you could make a comeback. You just jump over the women's division now, you know? I mean, you can do that in today's day and age, you know? You can take all the titles now.
Yeah, it's what do you think about that, Frankie? This shit is getting ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I think it's crazy, man. You know, I mean, you have grandkids now that are probably going to be getting into sports and granddaughters, and I mean, what if they're sitting there, you know, what if you're training them? You're training to be, you know, get the world curl record, and some dude dresses up, puts a skirt on, and takes that title from her after she worked so hard. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane to me. And, you know, I probably, in this climate, the way it is, a whole lot of people won't fucking like me saying that shit, but I don't give a fuck. That's some bullshit.
Yeah,
That is
hell
some
yeah.
flat fucking bullshit. Fuck
But
that.
but they'll mischaracterize this conversation and they'll call us all transphobes and whatever. But nobody cares. I don't think the three of us give a shit what you do, especially in your personal life. It's when you have a direct impact on women's sports and potentially my daughter, potentially your daughter, potentially your granddaughter. There's something inherently wrong there. You know what I mean? So nobody cares how you live your life. But you're ruining women's sports quite literally. You're taking scholarships away from people, and it's just sad to see, So, they can say whatever they like, but I don't think any of us give a shit how you live your personal life. It's the fact that it has a real huge impact, and how people can't see that. I don't understand how that doesn't have a huge impact on women's sports.
And fucking arguing for this shit. I'm like, you don't got a fucking leg to stand on. What the fuck?
Right.
You don't have an argument. Shut the fuck up with that bullshit. That's fuck that.
Yeah. They got the swimmer. Even there was an MMA fighter that was fighting women, breaking their face, broke like three women's skulls. By punching them. That's crazy. How can that even be allowed?
Yep. So I don't.
If a woman chooses to fight a guy and they both choose, hey, that's on you. But you're supposed to be fighting a girl. You better be fighting a girl.
Her opponents didn't know that she was born a biological male. That's the issue. Had they known, and actually one girl beat her.
Yeah, well, she knew. Yeah, that she was Jermaine Durandamy.
Wait, she knew?
I think she knew.
Oh, I didn't think she did.
Yeah, she agreed to it. She was a UFC, ended up winning the UFC title at one point. Yeah,
against,
so she was pretty
who
good.
was it? She wouldn't fight. Oh, Cyborg, right?
Yeah.
She refused to fight Cyborg, and they stripped her of her belt.
Yeah. She's tough. I don't know if I want to fight Cyborg either.
Yeah.
Now, Cyborg might be a good match for this dude who's
hell yeah. She'll probably actually. We took a picture together. We were both at 45. Man, she dwarfed me. I'm like, damn.
You still have that picture? We got to put that up.
I gotta find it.
You still got it? That's awesome. I'd love to see that. Yeah, Cyborg was a beast, man. She was just built different. But again, legacy tarnished because she dabbled in the steroids. So,
dabbled.
Yeah.
I've said a lot of times, if you had a steroid league in anything, baseball, Mark McGwire, the home run derby and all that, it was the greatest time. So if you had an all steroid sport and then a natural one, I mean, I think I'm one of many people that are going to watch the all steroid one. It's just going to be better, bigger home runs, bigger, better fights, better, I in my opinion anyway.
Well, I think that
I don't think it's fair, I should say. I don't think it's fair that they compete against natural guys. I'm just saying if there was two different leagues, you know what I mean?
I think there's always going to be an audience for, the more spectacular stuff, but there's always going to be exceptions to every rule. Mm-hmm. And I think there's some natural guys that'll shock the fuck out of guys that are actually taking care of this. Because there's some guys that are born, their DNA allows them, they were born with testosterone levels that are much higher than your average motherfucker. And there's some guys that they look like, some of these guys look like they lift weights all the fucking time. I used to bodyguard for a boxer named Mike Weaver. And this guy looked like a fucking bodybuilder. He looked like he just trained with weights all the fucking time. He had splits in his biceps and he looked like a fucking bodybuilder. He won the heavyweight title for a brief period of time. I was his bodyguard, and this guy said he absolutely hated lifting weights.
Really?
Didn't want anything to do with lifting weights, but he looked like a fucking, like he did it all the time. I mean, I don't recall Mike Tyson being a very big weightlifting guy. I don't think he lifted very many weights, but he looked like it. He looked like he was, he looked like he's built like, and that's just his DNA.
I remember hearing Rogan. We've referenced Rogan a lot on this show, but we're big fans. But I remember hearing him talking about Yoel Romero and how a doctor had examined him and said that he's literally just built different than other human beings. Yeah. His muscle fiber structure, he's just different. And I agree with you. There are people who are probably just born like that, and And
Well,
I would argue, Frankie probably won't say it, that Frankie's probably fought guys on steroids before and beat them, you know?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
you think about it,
definitely.
before USADA came.
Yeah.
USADA came, I think, in 2014. I was in UFC in 07. So, yeah, I'd imagine I fought someone on the gear. I
Definitely.
remember doing an interview, and I'm like, let him be on it. I'll fucking fight him anyway. You know?
Absolutely, because you know, fucking you Frankie Edgar, man, and you've
That's
been
it.
whooping people's ass for your whole life. So
I
don't
always
make
say, you know, I've been beating up juice heads on the Seaside Boardwalk for a long time. It's no different.
it's it. Absolutely. You know, and I said I had 6 months of a terrible mistake, but the rest of my career is completely drug free, and I competed against the best motherfuckers on the planet and kicked their ass.
6-time world champion. I mean, that's
6 times.
crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
What was it for people that don't know? What was your max bench? I mean, you were known for your bench and your curls, right? Your arm curls. That was really
Yes.
your thing.
My
What
best
what
bench-
were some of your records?
Best in competition was 650. I did 705 in the gym, but that shit don't count.
Jeez.
Wow.
And I curled 225 pounds, strict curl, and that lasted for 25 years until some a Russian guy named Denis Plinkov broke that record. I never expected that.
He's the arm wrestler, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. That dude is just all bicep. He actually, I think, beat what's the famous American Devin Larratt. He beat
Yeah.
Devin Larratt numerous times, and Devin's an absolute animal. Do you guys watch that arm wrestling at all? I hate arm wrestling. I never like to do it, but for some reason I like watching it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
yeah.
Devin Larratt's an animal, and the guy you just talked about, the Russian dude, is an animal. But there was a guy recently, a huge dude. I think he was from overseas somewhere in, like Saudi Arabia or something, that just came over and blew everybody away. This guy was a monster, but
I know who you're talking about. I can't think
I
of
can't
his
think of his
name.
name. Yeah,
He is a monster. Yeah.
he's a monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the strict curl, your back has to be up against the wall, right?
Yeah, your back,
Yeah.
your butt, and your head have to stay up against the wall. So it's
Oh, really?
all
Wow.
arms. All arms.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive.
And what was it? What was your curl?
225.
225, yeah.
Wow.
Stood for 25 years. That's impressive.
I saw the Hulk. I think, most guys, big guys, they 225 is a good, a good weight to work out with, right? I saw he did, I think it was in one of your videos, 88 reps of 225.
What?
That's insane.
In a row?
In a row.
Yep.
Yep.
Holy cow.
88 reps of 225.
Wow. What's he weigh? What does he weigh?
Over 300, right?
325.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude.
He's a big dude.
Wow.
Yep.
Yep. He is a big dude. That's for damn sure.
CT, if you never lifted a weight your whole life, what do you think your natural body weight would be? What do you think you would weigh?
Well, I actually fought at 165 pounds.
Really?
Wow.
Yep.
And you've also been over 300 pounds at one point, right?
325. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yep.
I read somewhere that you would go to McDonald's and at one sitting eat over 5,000 calories. That's insane.
I never counted up the calories. I don't know what 4 Big Macs and 4 orders of fries and strawberries. I don't know how many calories it is, but that's it.
It's a lot.
Yeah, every fucking day at lunch. It was no big deal to me.
That's more than the average man eats in a day. That's crazy.
Easy to put down. It's easy. Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah, that was just lunch, though. You know what I mean? No big. I probably had 4 or 5 more cheeseburgers throughout the day.
Now, were you hungry? Were you hungry, or were you trying to put the mass on?
In the beginning, I force fed myself. When I was trying, only thing that mattered to me was getting bigger and stronger. And I didn't care what I ate. I just ate a lot of it. Every
Right.
2 hours, I was eating something. And in the beginning, you force feed yourself because I couldn't gain weight when I was a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
And force feed until I kept doing it until every 2 hours I was actually hungry.
Wow.
So that's that's you
People
keep
don't-
doing it. Your body's like, I'm used to it. I'm ready to eat.
Yeah.
So,
People don't understand that aspect of it. To get big, you literally gotta. Rich Piana used to talk about that a lot. How he'd be, I'm eating another meal. I hate it. People don't understand. He'd be forcing rice and broccoli down his throat and be like, this is my 10th meal of the day or whatever. What is your take on that guy? I mean, obviously he's no longer with us, but what was your take? He's a very interesting dude. Another guy that motivated me that I would watch, not on your level, CT, not even close, but he was a pretty motivational guy. He did big things in the fitness industry. What is your take on him as a person, as an athlete?
Well, I met him a few times. We did different expos, and what I liked about Rich was he wasn't fucking saying I'm natural, and taking every fucking thing in the book. He said, hey, yes, I take steroids. Yes, I do this. He was honest about it. What fucking bugs me is the guys who swear up and down that they're natural. They're obviously not. And so I respected him for the fact that he would come out and tell you the truth.
All right. Well, since we're on the topic, and you said you guys bug you, we got to talk about Mike O'Hearn, who still to this day looks phenomenal. He's in his 50s, but there's a guy that's claimed his entire career that he's never taken anything. In my opinion, it's absolutely impossible. I don't believe it at all. Do you?
Well, I know Mike personally. He's a friend of mine. So ever since I've known him, he's said the same thing. So I'm going to just say no comment.
Okay. All right. I respect that. I try to pressure this guy once in a while to talk about other UFC fighters. He's the same way. He's like, no comment, no comment.
Gotta stay true. Gotta stay true.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about another guy. You talk about being in the gym, like absolutely pushing yourself to the very brink of like death and to the limits. There was a guy that did that, Ronnie Coleman, who is now like basically can barely walk. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy is really, he's done so much damage to his body and his back, mostly, that he can barely walk, barely get around. I mean, where, did the pendulum swing too far with Ronnie? Because that dude lifted like a savage. Do you think that he pushed himself too hard and he cost himself the quality of life where he is now in his senior years? Or do you think, I mean, I know what Ronnie says. Ronnie says, I would have done one more rep or two more reps of 800-pound squat. Do you agree with that? I mean, do you think, because he's given up some quality of life, obviously.
Let me put it, okay. I love Ronnie Coleman, by the way.
Me too.
I just, I just seen him this past weekend, and we were in at the Anaheim Fit Expo. But anyway, absolutely love Ronnie Coleman, and what I love so much about Ronnie Coleman is just what you just said. They asked him if he had any fucking regrets.
Yes.
And Ronnie said, the only thing I regret is only doing 2 fucking reps with 800. I fucking love that shit, man. If you're going to be, I mean, so what he's saying is that everything that I sacrificed, everything that I did, they're asking, is it worth it? Ronnie Coleman said, definitely, fuck yes, it's worth it. If I had to do it all over, I got to do the same fucking thing. And anybody who, that's his attitude, I respect the fuck out of him for that. Because look at me. I didn't do, and I had fucking I flatlined 5 fucking times, man. So, and that's without, that's because my mother, all 9 of her brothers and sisters passed away from heart problems. So it's fucking hereditary in my family. So he took a different path, but you ask him, does he have any fucking regrets? Ronnie has no regrets. You ask this old motherfucker right here, do I have any fucking regrets about eating all them double cheeseburgers? Fuck no. I don't have any regrets.
I love it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
that's amazing.
The dude's he's got all my respect, man. So he don't got any regrets. Why the fuck should I have?
Yeah, I hear you, brother. You were on the donor list for about a year, I read, and then 2018 Do you know anything about your donor? I know that's a weird question, but do you know anything about the person that gave you life, essentially?
Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
That's super interesting.
Absolutely, that is what I know, and I wasn't supposed
So
to.
you
know
can
that.
compete in the women's division now.
But see, I have too much integrity to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not gonna fucking yeah. But it's that, and I wasn't supposed to know that. There was a doctor who would come into my room every day, a young guy, and he'd be like, "How you doing today, Mr. Fletcher?" And I always say the same thing: "I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed." And he would be pissed at me saying that because he felt like I was giving too much credit to God and not enough credit to the doctors,
Science,
who actually did the surgery on me. And I'm like, hey, no, doc, I really appreciate you. Without you, I wouldn't be here. But I give credit to God too, because when I flatlined, one of those times I flatlined, I was at home, no doctors around, no emergency, nobody there to revive me, no nothing, and I'm still fucking here. So I can't give credit to the doctors for that. That when the good Lord had to step in and save me. So I'm still here, doc. So I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. And he goes, well, I'm going to tell you this. You got a lady's heart. And she wasn't a young lady either. She's almost as old as you are.
Wow.
And
That's
I tell you
incredible.
what, when he told me that shit, for the rest of the day, I was fucked up. I was like, what? Yeah, that fucked me up for the rest of the day, man. I was like, man, a lady's heart, because I did a whole bunch of research, and they was like, whenever you get a woman's heart and put it in a man, the survival rate is much less and all this shit.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. When he told me that shit, man, that fucked me up. And I was, I was like, oh God, why? I'm not gonna make it to the end of the week. I'm like, man, God, why did you do this to me, man? I'm talking.
I was period now.
And I thought about it, and then, I thought about it, and I thought about it, and said that, and good Lord said, look, that is the heart. If I gave you an 18-year-old heart, CT, or some young kid's heart, and you made this miraculous comeback, everybody would say it's because of that heart that you're doing so well. But I give you a woman's heart, and she's almost as old as you, and then you come back, and then you're still here, then who they gonna give the credit to? They're gonna give it to me, because I said that's the heart for you.
Wow.
Then I shut up. I didn't complain no more.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I got a woman's heart, and I'm still flexing.
That's right, baby.
Amen. I mean, I'm an organ donor. I mean, I don't know how that works, right? My theory has always been like when my fleshy vessel time on this earth is over, somebody might as well benefit from it. So I'm an organ donor. But, when you're on that list, you probably learn a little bit about how it works. I mean, obviously you can't harvest somebody's donor heart and keep it on ice and say, oh, the guy came along and he needs one. I mean, that has to be pretty much in the moment, right? Like
Yeah,
it has to. It doesn't have a shelf life on it. So somebody essentially passes, and then immediately they must harvest that. And so you were on a list, and this, woman, I guess, passed, and they immediately called you in. Is that how that works? They just call you and say, get to the hospital now.
When it's really, it gets really close. They want. My dad passed away really close to the time that they found the heart for me. And I was unable to attend his funeral because they said if I go to the funeral, I'm off the list. Right? Wow. I'm like, oh man. So I had to stay there. When it gets really critical like that, when you reach the top of the list, you can't go anywhere. So I missed my dad's funeral, but I stayed there, and then I got the call 5 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Mr. Fletcher, we found the heart for you. They didn't say we found a woman's heart. I probably would say, hey, I'll pass, man. But they just said, we found the heart, and I was like, it was like the most, it was happy and sad. I felt really bad for the donor's family because I knew that somebody had to pass away in order for me to get the opportunity to live. So I felt really bad for their family, but I was happy that I would get to stay here a little bit longer and see my grandkids and see my son, lift weights and stuff. So I was happy and sad at the same time.
I'm sure she's looking down on you and, quite fondly from above. So that's.
I hope so. Yeah. I'm trying to make her proud, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
She might have been a trucker like you with the cursing. You never know, right?
Maybe.
Oh man, so, CT, you got what up? You have any events coming up or anything people can catch you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be in Florida on the 19th of this month, the Florida Expo. Me and my kids, my wife, and we're gonna be over there. Jungle Wars.
Okay, is that in Orlando?
Yes.
Okay, all right, awesome. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a nice venue over there.
Yeah, we'll be over there talking shit and yelling. I have the world's strongest bench presser and Midwest Kong and TD Smash. Julius Maddox is the world record holder in the bench press right now. And he's going to be there at Jungle Wars, and we're going to tear the motherfucker down. And then I'm going to take my ass back to my room and look at TV.
Yeah, there you go.
Now you'll be out on the floor screaming at these dudes, doing what you do.
Oh, you know it.
That's
you know
fucking
it.
awesome.
I'm there yelling. That's my job now. I'm the chief cheerleader.
Can you give us? It's still your set. I can't. I'm not even gonna try to imitate it. Can you give us one?
It is still your motherfucking set, Frankie.
I
Yes.
love it. I love it.
Hey, CT, I know you're Iron Addicts, right? So my initials are FE, and the periodic symbol for iron, and so that's my logo. And it's the period, it's the FE symbol. And I'm about to open up a gym in my hometown. I'm gonna call it Iron Army, Frankie Edgar's Iron Army, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Mixed Martial Arts Academy. So a little. I think you look.
Hell
That.
yeah!
You gotta get CT to come out and check it out.
Hell
Love
yeah.
it, man.
That'd be amazing.
Iron Army, Iron Addicts meets Iron Army. I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, love it. Well, CT, I appreciate your time, man. It's a pleasure talking with you. One of the realest motherfuckers that I know, and I'm proud, happy to call you my friend, my man.
Hell yeah! Same here. It's an honor for me to be on your show. I'm been a huge fan. I'm still a fucking huge fan. Thank you so much. Thank you both for having me.
You're a legend, bro. It's such an honor to finally meet you, man. You are inspiring legend, not just to me, but as you know, millions of people. But my little gym I go to, you're everybody loves you, bro. So
thank you. Thank you so much.
Anytime you're out on the East Coast in Jersey, you gotta look us up, please.
Yeah, come sit on the couch.
Now, I'm supposed to. Okay, I got to thank Plasma Water for hooking up this fucking interview.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, they're the
Shout out
ones
Plasma Water.
Yeah,
Man,
they're the
Jason,
one who hooked it up so I could get a chance to be on here with the legend.
Absolutely.
So thank you,
You're
Plasma
the
Water.
legend, my man. All the best, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, CT.
Guys, please don't forget to find and follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most other podcast platforms.
Champ and the Tramp.